In the ancient land of Benaras, a powerful king ruled a prosperous kingdom, where laughter echoed through the streets and the earth yielded abundant harvests. Yet the king's heart remained restless for the thrill of the hunt. Every season, the king would lead his massive hunting party into the depths of the forest, unaware that the sounds of his thundering hooves brought terror to the hearts of the innocent creatures living within the trees. But deep within a hidden glade lived a unique herd of 1,000 deer, led by a majestic creature whose fur shimmered like molten gold and whose eyes held the wisdom of 1,000 years, the noble Banyan Deer. One morning, the king chanced upon this radiant golden king of the forest, and for the first time in his life, he felt a strange, profound hesitation stay his arrow, mesmerized by the creature's divine beauty. Struck by a sudden sense of reverence, the king decreed that the Banyan Deer and his magnificent herd were to be sacred and protected, never to be harmed by any hunter's hand within the kingdom's borders. However, nearby lived another group known as the branch herd, led by a sturdy but anxious deer who watched with a heavy heart as his followers remained vulnerable to the king's relentless appetite for venison. To prevent the entire forest from being trampled by hunters, the king agreed to a cruel arrangement where one deer from the branch herd would be chosen by lot each day to be sacrificed for the royal kitchen. Every sunrise became a moment of agony for the deer as they huddled together in fear, waiting to see which one of their brothers or sisters would be taken away to a fate from which no one returned. The branch deer watched his family dwindle day by day, his spirit breaking under the weight of the terrible lottery that forced him to choose between the lives of those he was meant to protect. From the safety of his protected sanctuary, the Banyan Deer looked upon the suffering of the other herd and realized that true peace cannot exist while others nearby are living in a state of constant terror. He knew that the only way to end the cycle of fear was through a radical act of love. So he resolved to offer his own golden life to save a mother deer who had been chosen that day for the king's table. With a heart full of courage, the golden king stepped out of his sanctuary and walked with steady, graceful strides toward the palace kitchen, ready to give his life so that another might live to see another day. The royal hunter lowered his blade in trembling shock as the very deer the king had forbidden anyone to touch walked willingly to the block, laying its golden neck down with a serenity that defied all human understanding. The hunter raced to the throne room, breathless and pale, shouting to the king that the golden king of the deer had come to die in place of the common herds, an act of mercy never before seen in all of history. The king's mind raced with confusion and wonder, unable to comprehend why a creature so beautiful and so protected would choose to throw away its life for the sake of a common, trembling doe. When the king reached the kitchen and looked into the calm, brown eyes of the Banyan Deer, he felt the cold stone of his own heart begin to crack open under the warmth of the animal's silent gaze. Through a voice that seemed to echo directly in the king's soul, the Banyan Deer explained that the life of the smallest creature is as precious to it as the king's own life is to him, and that death is a burden no being should carry in fear. Tears of shame welled in the king's eyes as he realized that his own casual desires for fine meat had created a kingdom of shadows and suffering for those who had no voice to protest. My life is no more valuable than theirs, the Banyan Deer seemed to say, and true royalty is not found in the power to take life, but in the power to protect it with all one's might. In a moment of total transformation, the king removed his golden crown and knelt in the dust before the deer, vowing that he would never again allow the blood of an innocent creature to be spilled for his pleasure. Before the entire court, the king signed a royal decree that granted eternal safety to every bird, beast, and fish in the land, declaring the entire kingdom a sanctuary for all who breathe. A great wave of peace swept through the forests and rivers of Benaras, as the creatures of the wild felt the heavy weight of fear lift from their shoulders, replaced by the warmth of the sun and the safety of the king's word. The people of the kingdom began to visit the forest, not to hunt, but to offer flowers and gratitude to the golden deer who had taught them that the highest form of courage is found in compassion. The king himself became a changed man, spending his days ensuring the welfare of his subjects and animals alike, his face now glowing with a peace that no hunt could ever provide. As the years passed, Benaras became known far and wide as the Kingdom of Mercy, where the earth grew more fertile and the people lived longer, all because they had learned to value the lives of others. The king told the story of the golden deer to his children and his children's children, ensuring that the flame of compassion would never be extinguished in the hearts of the future rulers. Even today, the wind through the banyan trees seems to whisper the name of the deer who was willing to die so that others could live, a reminder that one act of kindness can echo through eternity. We learn from this noble creature that true greatness is not found in how much we can take for ourselves, but in how much of ourselves we are willing to give for the sake of another. The king, once a man of war and chase, found his ultimate purpose in the quiet joy of a bird's song and the gentle trust of a deer's gaze, proving that it is never too late to change. For we are all connected in a great web of life, and when we choose to protect the vulnerable, we are ultimately protecting the very soul of our world. The legacy of the Banyan Deer teaches us the ultimate truth, that the strongest among us are those who use their power to serve, and the wisest are those who see themselves in the eyes of every living being. If this story of the golden deer has opened your heart, please share it with others and subscribe to our channel as we continue to explore the timeless lessons that lead us toward a world of greater love and peace.